I live here in Helena. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Start. Mike Cobb, member at large, Augusta area.
Neil Snow, member at large.
Jade Wells, Public Works.
Christian Leonard, Wilson Park County Noxious Weed Supervisor.
Tom Rolfe, County Commission.
Judith M. Vincent, Vice Chair.
Rob McDonough, board member at large, Wolf Creek, Dearborn area.
Tom Thompson, I'm a has-been from around here.
Stacy Barge, board member.
Jessica Vegas, Special Districts Coordinator.
I'm Dave Birch, chairman. Two people on Zoom. Go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin Sheridan, Bureau of Land Management, Butte Field Office.
Pete.
Pete Christensen, board member at large.
Okay, thank you, guys. So the past meeting minutes are in this packet. If you want one, if you want to look at them. Or, I don't think you got that. No. You got this thing. Okay, public comment, Tom.
Yes, I just stopped by to see what kind of progress you're having with the BLM. Silver Creek drains and gives me a lot of spurge from Ottawa Gulf. There was an old miner up there some years ago. He stirred up a bunch of that drainage. And that spurge has really come in there hard. And I just would like to either enlighten you that this is happening and see if there's any progress. I see you've got on your discussion here BLM strategy. So if there is anything that, any way you can help with that, I'd appreciate it because it ends up on me eventually. And the elk are also very good weed seed transporters. We have also a railroad on the south side of me, and it's not being in use, but that doesn't mean that the weeds don't grow. So there is right now there is a lot of white top and spurge, and I wondered if there's any progress in that area. I have a personal complaint. Do I need to stop at the office with that one?
Personal complaint.
Well, a neighbor.
Alex is here, right?
Alex is on a spray day, but yes, you can leave a.
Who would I need to talk to? You?
Me, yep.
Okay.
You are the guy.
Okay, so, who wants to address the BLM? I don't want to talk for anybody. Kevin or Pete?
You can go ahead. I completely understand. And I will just preface with at least with Ottawa Gulch. And honestly, our whole field office, when I came in, I did not have any geospatial data or anything like that. So everything that I'm finding population wise, it's all first time that I'm having that record. So anytime people, even if it's in complaint, that is completely fine with me. It just gives me more information. And then I can address that from there. So, I'm not going to take offense if you tell me that, we're not doing a good job and to look into this area. So I completely understand and I apologize for that.
Thank you.
So Kevin, could you, if Tom got a hold of you at some point in time, you could maybe visit with him a little bit in private and talk about that then, and maybe.
Oh,
come
yeah,
up-
yeah. Yeah, I can definitely come out. And I can, whatever's easiest, if I share my contact information with Christian or Jade, we can pass it along, or I can spout out my phone number now. I please help me and kind of direct me to certain areas. I'm completely fine with that. I'm not going to take offense to it. So,
We'll share your contact information with Tom, and then he can get a hold of you at some point in time.
okay. Yeah. And I would not mind heading out and seeing all that stuff with him. So that's completely fine. And then I can add that to the list of spots for me. So,
Ray Brecky has the grazing allotment there, and he's concerned too, because it's affecting his stocking rate and coming down and getting on his property too. So
yeah.
and if you can, I'm the first place on Silver Creek Road. When you turn off
Okay.
on Silver Creek Road, I am the first place. So, and I have, being as I help Ray, I have the access to that through that locked gate. So if you want to take a ride, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds great with me, sir. I know I actually, I'm sorry. There's so many names I've dealt with my RMSs and stuff like that, or range management specialist. But I do remember talking to one of them about Mr. Brecky last year, and we actually did give some chem out for that for application. And I kind of I've been asking him if he needed any more chem for that this year. So I'm just kind of waiting on a response from my range management specialist. And then obviously I have that on my list of somewhere I'm going to try and head out this summer for me. So it is just going to be me this summer, unfortunately. I was not given any seasonals. So I apologize that it might not be super quick, but I can guarantee I will get out there. So.
Okay, thank you. One other thing I want to mention is, are there any biocontrols available or going to be available
For
for spurge, for knapweed, and I'd like to know how it's, when I was on the board, they were still deciding whether they could bring the biocontrol for houndstooth from Canada, and I'd like to know if there's any progress on that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Chair, biocontrol season is just starting. I just got an email from Melissa Maggio. She's the biocontrol state coordinator. They're looking at going out this week to do some site visits to see areas in which they're sites in which they're doing collections, and hopefully to start collecting on the 10th of June for Dalmatian toadflax.
Okay,
And then the next season, or the next bug season, is leafy spurge. And we go out and also do collection on those. Those are a little bit towards the end of June, more towards the end of June, early July time, where we go out and sweep for those. And then we also do the spotted knapweed root weevils as well. We always encourage anybody that's calling and looking for biocontrol agents, we put them on the list, and we try to go collect and try to get everybody at least one release. We've been successful at doing that for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So yeah.
I sprayed some Dalmatian this morning, and it is just started to bloom. So there's all sizes right
Yeah.
now.
And then on the crucifix bug for houndstooth, that is still not an approved agent to be moved around.
Okay,
It is moving quite well though in Montana. We We found some, Alex found some down at the nature park right there by Benton Avenue Golf Course in Helena. I found some last year out by Judith Ann's. I found some over by Broadwater County too, over by like Hellgate Campground, and we're starting to find it. Amber Birch found some in Beaverhead County as well. So it's moving pretty prolifically on its own without any aid. But it's still right now, it's not an approved agent for moving. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Question, on the BLM with all the federal questions on budgets and that, are you gonna have the revenue to do your controls, or are you gonna be short and just,
So I still have not received a final budget. And I could pretty much just tell you from what I've seen projected wise, it's going to be very slim. Like I said, it was not on the budget or even in the projected budget for me to get a seasonal this year. So it is just going to be me. And then I know I put in for a couple assistance agreements as well, and I really haven't heard much traction on that. Last update I got was on the 6th of May, and I've just heard crickets since on where that is going. So everything is definitely moving a little bit slow here, and a lot of things have been kind of up in the air. And I do apologize. I hate making excuses, but it's just the way it is at the moment. So.
Yes. There been any progress with railroads at all, or?
No.
Okay. Well, I know the railroad issue has been not only this county, but other counties are talking about that. So since BNSF took over Rail Link and all of that, we'll have to see what goes on, but we're not the only ones that are involved in that, so we'll let you know what happens with those. Okay.
Christian, explain to Tommy what to look for when you see the bugs on the.
On Houndstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like when the biocontrol agent's on that plant, it almost looks like it was like peppered with the shotgun. I know it's sort of tough to go off of just that because sometimes grasshoppers and other insects do eat it, but that's sort of like an indication. And then if you lift, you know how hound's tongue, if you lift the leaf up right at the base where the stem of the leaf touches the stalk of the plant, there'll be like little dots and they're ovideposits for that beetle actually putting its eggs at the base. So it likes to put it right at the base of that stem. So then when the egg hatches, it'll actually eat down the stem and into the root. Yeah. It is a really, really neat biocontrol agent. It's one of the only ones that its whole life cycle revolves around that, from egg, pupa, larvae to adult. They eat the plant in all life stages of it. So it does a really, really good job. They in Canada, they don't have almost any left anymore. It's been pretty amazing, and hence why it's here. It sort of has worked its way, and like I said, they found it in Beaverhead County down in Dillon, so we're talking it's almost spanned the whole front range of Montana. That's a good stretch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and it takes about 3 to 5 years before we really start to see like significant reduction in it. So
you have a photo of it you could show?
I can show Tommy the actual bug. It's in Alex's office. I'll show you what it looks like. It's not much bigger than the end of the eraser. It's pretty little, but they call it the crucifix bug or a crucifix beetle because it sort of has like a little white cross on its back.
Huh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'll show it to you after the meeting. Yeah, pretty cool, but
Yeah, it does an amazing job. That's for as small as it is. We've had two other people come in. You guys wanna state your name and whatever for the record? please?
Sure, yep. Sorry, I was a little bit late. Jenny Chambers, Elkhart County Public Works Director.
Also apologize for my tardiness. Andrew Kretschmer with the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service for Lewis and Clark County.
All right, if you're late again, it's gonna cost you guys.
Yeah. Doesn't, those.
That was what you're missing.
Okay, thanks, Tommy, for bringing that stuff up. And
You're welcome.
Quick question,
makes a big difference. Go ahead.
quick question for Christian, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. Were you guys planning on attending any of those, collection days that Melissa, might have going on?
Yes, we try
Okay.
to, either me or Alex try to get down there and we actually take at least one crew down there to help.
Okay,
To help Melissa,
'Cause, yeah,
and we take what we need to, so, yeah.
okay,
We can-
because yeah, I
can
was gonna try
coordinate.
and make it for toadflax and spurge.
Okay,
And so that might be nice if we can kind of collect as much as we can while we're out there and kind of try and work together with that stuff. So
we'll do.
You wanna put Tommy on the list for
Yeah,
Spurge,
we'll add Tommy to
or
this.
for all of them, I guess. Well. So, okay, any action items come up?
No, we didn't have any action items to add to this.
These-
Just for update.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, as everybody is aware, the weeds are just exploding after that rainstorm we've had, or the bit of rain. Just to follow up with Tommy, what he's saying, Silver Creek, I mean, basically from Marysville all the way down across, you know, as it goes through or across Green Meadow, is just loaded with leafy spurge, and it's something that, you know, and you and I've talked about that right by the bridge on the right of way. It does appear that some of that bio is working. I noticed that particular spot isn't as bad, but there's still just a tremendous amount of it. And not only on Silver Creek, I just came out of the Austin area. And again, for Kevin, the BLM property of the Austin Road along Greenhorn Creek is just absolutely loaded with leafy spurge. Terrible. When you hit the pavement coming into town, directly across from the old Birdseye store, that whole field is just packed with it. I mean, it's everywhere. This is a heavy leafy spurge here, more so than I'm used to seeing. Again, and White Top is pretty rampant throughout the valley. And Christian, I know you guys are taking care of the fairgrounds, and I went to go to the fairgrounds the other day. There's a bunch of leafy, or a White Top right there, going into the fairgrounds area. And you know, right by Capitol High School, a tremendous amount of
Yeah.
White Top, and you guys all see it, I mean, you know, but, I guess the thing is, I mean, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt, you guys want me to document these locations and get them to you if it's on the county right away?
Yes, please.
I will. So Alex is gonna get tired of hearing from me, I'm certain, because I'm doing this. Anyway, other than that, we do have, and Judith Ann has coordinated another spray day. Kevin will be here tomorrow to help us up in the Canyon Creek area, up the Lost Horse Creek. We still have a pretty sizable amount of well, on the Marysville side, there's a ton of knapweed over there that we really need to get under control. I'm getting a lot of complaints from the folks that live there that, you know, they're wanting the BLM to handle it, so.
Yeah, that 10 Mile Creek, I noticed, like you say, after the rain, my
Yeah.
God, the spurge on that place is just going crazy.
Yeah, well, especially right there on McHugh, I mean,
Yeah.
on McHugh's, I mean, that's been there forever, and you know what, I'll talk to PJ and see if, we can go in and help them or get something going.
Yeah, then the White Top too.
And that field right
Yeah.
across from them, yeah, terrible.
And actually, talking about White Top just real quick, the behind, well, by the Home to Suites and the new area down in there.
Yeah,
There's like just a few plants that are coming. This is the first time I've seen the White Top there. So you might want to get Alex or the crew after that, because it's right along the roadway.
Mhm.
But You might have a pretty good chance of taking it out, because there isn't very much of it. Like I said, this is like the first year I've seen it right close to the road, so.
Okay.
Okay.
The only other thing I'd like to add is, Judith Ann coordinating this spray day. I really would encourage the other folks on the board, let's try to get something moved forward, get these spray days. I mean, I'd be willing to come up to Wolf Creek and even assist, and, just whatever. I think coordination, working with the folks that live in the area, it's the only way we're gonna really make any progress. So.
Stacy, kind of
Yes.
along those lines, I know you know everybody kind of in that Marysville area. Would there be any potential of people being interested, kind of on that Edwards Mountain and that Trinity and Long Gulch that we kind of discussed this morning? Would there be any people that interested in trying to do a spray day in that area?
You know what, I can reach out to some of those folks and see what we can come up with, Kevin, for sure. A lot
Okay.
of private property in there, a lot of that, belong, as you go out Long Gulch, that's Dagnell's. And I can get with Mike, and see if he wants to participate or,
I would come help.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that, in all honesty, I mean, the Lost Horse side, we've made a tremendous progress in that area, other than, where some of the new logging activities taking place, but that Long Gulch, from Marysville out to Canyon Creek is terrible, and a lot of BLM property in there too, that, needs to be addressed, so. Thank you. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, so I'm chiming in behind Stacy and Kevin to, excuse me, maybe get a couple of spray days going in that area. If we could get, I mean, I'm sure Mike would come help. And I think we could get a few other people to help on that Edwards Mountain and, coming down that way. So, if we could, just take a day and give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
So,
And even if we don't get it right now, maybe we can look at a fall application to get some of those rosettes knocked out, because I've been in there and it's like, oh, heck, it's.
I think some of the guys that I have coming tomorrow would help.
Okay.
I know they would. So,
Okay.
and then if we can get some, some others, the property owners, chemical may be the thing. If we,
Yeah, and so that's kind of the situation that I'm in right now. When I got in the office, just a huge stockpile of chemical, but just I don't have staff to help me put any of that out. So I know I went out and did that Edwards Mountain or a bit of that last year, and then I went back out and did along that Trinity Road as well. And then there was another point that Alex actually sent to me, but I've been just trying to figure out access to it because I need to get through private, heading back down towards that Marysville Road. And that one, just looking from the roadside, it looks pretty steep. So I'm trying to also kind of figure out what's going to be the best way to tackle that as well too.
so are you including Deer Creek?
I've been spraying Deer Creek, with Casey Fitzsimmons, and I, for the most part, right along the
Work
road, and technically that's a county road that runs through Deer Creek. It's looking good, it's just all the logged activity up above, which is all private. But there, up above, there is BLM that I'll get Kelly looked in that.
Okay, thanks, guys. Christian?
Staff reports. Yep. Been pretty busy, so we'll start off with some good news here. We got our Montana Department of Ag Special County Grant funds today, as well as the MDT fund. So we got those. We just received those today, and Jade's been working with Sarah from finance and get those put in the right funds. Again, Noxious Weed Awareness Week. Everybody is hopefully aware of that. If not, you are now. So been working on getting all the radio ads. Hopefully you guys have been hearing them. They're on Z101, Mighty Mo, and The Bull. So just been working out on the sprayer out there and it seems like they're going pretty often. You hear it quite a bit, so that's good. That's good. Then we also have, we set up more of like a general or generic weed ad to go after that, and it's gonna rotate between the mow and the rock station. So we doing a little bit on and off to make the most out of our funds, and I think it went to the end of September. So, and we always have the option to change it as the season goes through, whether or not we wanna talk about drought or whether or not we wanna talk about how to manage weeds in the fall. So, so we always have that option to change those and
I do think something in the fall would be good.
I think something in the fall would be good too. And we can always pause it for a few weeks to stretch it out maybe into October.
Yeah.
Pause it for a couple of weeks in July, maybe instead, when it's really sort of dry out and maybe extend those out. So, like I said, we at least have a schedule put in place that follows our budget, so. We did present the bylaws to the BOCC on June 3rd, and we just received those back from Nadine, so we will get those put on the website, so everyone have updated bylaws. We've been running Jade has been doing a very good job with all of our educational posts for our Facebook page. There's a lot of stuff going out there. There's a lot of good information out there from Department of Ag, Montana Weed Control Association. The Department of Agricultural Education Division is doing a really good job too on doing some of that. We did get the truck. I want to give a shout out to Dustin Knoll again, our shop manager. We had an interesting situation where I didn't think we were gonna get the truck after it was delivered, and thankfully Dustin has some GM contacts and we were able to get the situation taken care of, and we were able to take possession of the pickup truck. So working on getting all this stuff put on that and get it ready for the season. We did talk about this last time. We did get the 2 tanks to redo the last 2 rental trailers. I am in the progress of finishing the 4th out of the 5th, out of all 5. Just after this meeting and stuff, I'll be able to go get the plumbing parts and start plumbing, getting all that all plumbed up and ready to rock and roll. They've been, and with that, our rental sprayers have been pretty popular or picked up the last week or so. It's been very good weather for the most part. Working on finishing our MDT contracts. I think we're pretty much done with what we need to do for this season. I want to get those submitted to Eric Waldemir, the Butte, and then Doug from Great Falls, Coster from Great Falls, and get those submitted so that we can get paid for those. Also working on the Beaver Creek stream restoration. We're out there doing the vegetation management for that project. We went out last week and did a little bit on that. We'll go out there quite a bit. They had like $26,000 still to expend on vegetation management out there. I sort of gave them, as they did certain phases. I've been wanting to allow the revegetation pieces to have that opportunity to do that. That's sort of a standard practice. MBT does that too. When they revegetate road right of ways, they like to give it at least one good growing season to establish all the seeds that they planted before we start mitigating for noxious weeds. So I allowed those to happen, and we're there now where we're able to work on both phases all the way down to the fishing access too. So we can use those funds down there where they redid their parking lot and added, I think, another bathroom down there. So working on those, and we'll continue to work on those through the summer. We do have our Forest Service contract for the middleman routes heading out, also out York. It's up there. They do have a logging operation going on out there, and they're redoing some of the roads for for travel for the logging trucks to get out there. So we'll be working on those. We did a little bit last year and we'll continue to do that. That's just pretty high up, so we haven't made our way out there yet. There's probably a little bit behind, but would like to at least get out there here soon again too, to take care of any white top or any of those earlier weeds. Compliance is starting to pick up. I think we had 18 cases just last week. So Alex has been pretty busy with those. We do have 56 active weed management plans as of the end of May. And Alex has gone through at least 13 of those and then has inspected over 280 acres worth of property with that. And then just working with the landfill for some of our hydro seeding. I'm not sure where they're at with that. I'll have to reach out to Jackie from the landfill and just sort of see how they're coming along. We sort of been working with them, sort of postpone seeding until we're able to get some actual soil or something on those, at least on that berm before, because it seems to be a pretty harsh place for seeds to try to germinate and grow there. So education has been going really good. We do have our Jim Darcy Egg Days on this Friday, so we'll be out there attending that. That's why the education trailer's here. And then again, just I already talked a little bit about the biocontrol agents. That is the season of collecting our biocontrol is upon us. So we'll be out busy doing those when time allows. We did have Egg Day, or excuse me, not 8 days, crew training. That went really well. That was the last week of May. Really, really good. I do have an agenda here. It was lots and lots of credits that you could get there. So it's not just for crew training. There's ornamental turf pests. So anybody that has any kind of license can attend those. I believe we had over 65 attendees at that training. So not quite as biggest triangle area, but we're gaining more and more every year, especially with the way the Department of Ag has been helping with the credits and stuff like that. Like I said, it's been a busy day. We're busy with spray days. Alex is not here currently. He's up in Elk Creek doing Elk Creek with the Forest Service. And then tomorrow he'll be up in Ford Creek with the Forest Service as well. I'm participating in that. And then I will be out in Canyon Creek area helping out with Judith and spray bee. And if we have more spray days and we're able to get those scheduled, we'll put those on the event calendars and whatever we can do to help assist in those. We will do that. Yeah.
Sounds good. Any questions for Christian?
Dude, the spray helpers, how many, I wasn't here last month. Did you get a full staff of helpers?
Yes, we are fully staffed and we've been fully staffed since June 8th or something, or not June 8th, excuse me, like May 10th-ish, around that. We're in June. Not even that day yet, man. I'm already hopping ahead, pardon me. Do you mean it's just flying by anymore? I can't keep the days straight sometimes. Yes, we are fully staffed. And we've been able to get through quite a bit of our stuff. So, and then we're also working on county road right of ways too. We're not just doing our contracted work. We've been out doing some county right of ways as well.
Talking about the highway department, did you expend all the funds that were available?
Almost all of them. We did spend everything out of Great Falls.
Okay.
We actually went just a little bit over, but we were okay to do that. And then out of the $16,000, I think we spent $14,400, something like that. There's like $1,600-ish left. But with the amount of roads that they have us, they just gave us a certain amount of roads. And so that's about what we were able to do. And then I guess I did not mention this. We do have our new contracts in place for Great Falls and Butte as well, which starts July 1st. So yeah, and we have fishing accesses.
You guys go to, where do you go to Great Falls one on the interstate, you go to all the way to what's it called?
Craig,
Craig, or you go past Craig.
Like
So
the
what-
rest areas that.
Yeah.
were-
So we, with the Great Falls contract, all they have us doing currently is Lincoln Highway. So everything north of Stemple Pass Road. And then they do have us going a little bit towards on Highway 200 going towards Lincoln. Other than that, that's all that they
Okay.
have asked us to do, right? Yeah, it's
It's
only $6,000.
terrible down in that area.
Yeah, we just have a $6,000 contract with
Okay.
with Great Falls, and that's what they had us do when I was able to get the contract, get a contract back from them.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, that's all they've had us doing, and I've been able to at least be like, we got, can we at least start going down to 200, and so we go 200 west, head towards Lincoln.
All right, good. Mike, yeah.
I have a question. So Fort Creek spray day tomorrow, and you said Alex will be up there. So is he going up right up where we meet, or is he doing the county road from Augusta up there?
We're probably just doing the county road, and we start at 7, so we're usually a little bit late showing up, so Alex just sort of shows up and with his crew, and we start working on that, so. And then meet up in the afternoon or wherever, and then do what we can do from there.
And with the other question I had, so driving down here, I heard on the radio, I told Dave that I heard our governor vetoed the noxious weed bill, because he argued that $10 million was too much. So is there do we write our legislatures, or do we ask the county commissioner to complain, or?
Like you said, there was supposed to be a vote go out to the legislative body to see if they wanted to override his veto. And I haven't heard if they've done that or not yet, or if they did vote and they didn't get enough votes to override it. They were concerned about, the reason that he vetoed it was because there was a lot of extra spending in some other places that they had to cover, and so he didn't feel comfortable giving the weed people the $10 million this year. So I don't know if they veto it, if they override his veto, then there will be the 10 million that will go into the permanent trust or to the trust. And then that money, then the interest will go, some of the interest is gonna stay with the 10 million. And the other portion of it will go back to the Department of Ag, and then they'll have to decide whether to put it into grants or to give more to the counties to increase the $7,500 grant. So once we figure out if they overrode the veto or not, then we'll go from there. But that's where we're at so far.
We just be patient and see what our legislature
Yep.
does.
Pretty much. Jenny.
Sure. Thanks, Chairman. Not a lot from Public Works, but a few things, updates to share with you guys. So the Public Works budget was presented last week on all the different divisions to the Board of County Commissioners. This is our proposed fiscal year 26 budget. The meetings went really well, so I'm very optimistic, Commissioner Rolfe. And then they meet on June 12th to talk through all the different proposals. Usually if it's not a significant change and it's moving forward, we're usually pretty good to go, but there are some new requests in there that they're gonna kind of walk through to figure out what they do as a county-wide. So after that date, we should have an idea on kind of where we're headed for the next fiscal year for planning. This summer, we are just working on a lot of construction activities. It's 2 seasons in Montana. There's winter snow removal, and then there's during that time period, we try to do procurements, and then in the summer, we try to get out there on the construction. It's very limited time to do that. The county road crew will be working with the city of Helena, probably in July. And then after the fair, on the fairgrounds paving project, the next phase of the fairgrounds paving project will occur. July 7th is when they're gonna be doing, ripping up some of the road on Silsby, to get prepared for paving after the fair. Just to let you guys know, Henderson will also be part of that project in July 7th, so Henderson is gonna be worked on the city of Helena side, so it'll be kind of crazy on that intersection down there. And then at the Stampede and Fair, which is the last week in July, Ryan's Ball Field also has a baseball tournament, so if you go to the fair or go to that, like, just know you're gonna take additional time, and if you can avoid that area, I'd probably do that the last week of July. So they're working on a traffic plan with that piece. For the other summer projects where we've got just, crack sealing is almost done, all of our roads have been swept. We're working on some of our asphalt overlays. We're gonna do work on Heron Road, Jimtown Road, Canal Circle, Concord, Flowery, and also the Causeway. So, Lake Helena Drive, where you go from Lincoln Road to the gravel portion, the Causeway. And in order to do that, a dig out and do the asphalt overlay, we might have to close that road for a couple days. So we're just working on what that looks like for reader boards and messaging, and that'll cause some attention, I think, but we have to get out there to do the work when we're able to do it. And then also in July, we'll have a complete bridge closure on Head Lane Bridge, because we are replacing the Head Lane Bridge. So we've been working on those press releases and information for folks as well, and emergency services. That road is, don't have any ability to do any kind of detour or any other kind of route, so it'll be a hard closure on Head Lane Bridge for basically July through probably September with that bridge replacement. So it's kind of a big deal on that end. Some exciting things we're trying to work on at the landfill, not that you guys really care totally about solid waste, but we finished last year integrated solid waste master plan with the city of Helena. And so we're looking at doing a procurement this summer to do a design of a kind of a Z-wall container site at the landfill. So if you live in the district, scratch gravel district, instead of hauling your waste to the transfer station and recyclables, you could also maybe in the future go to the landfill. So we're just doing the design of it and how it can be phased and what that cost is going to look like. And don't have any tentative date of when that actually would be constructed, but at least a step in the direction to give people on that end of the valley a place to go. You have to drive all the way into town and then keep the transfer station. And the purpose is to reduce the traffic at the transfer station and try to balance out what we're doing from a solid waste management activities. The other thing is from a county perspective, I want to kind of toot the horn as a whole group. Lewis and Clark County will be managing our waste, solid waste countywide. Last year, we moved to hauling Augusta waste to the Lewis Clark landfill instead of going to Republic Services in Great Falls. And this year, we're going to start Lincoln. Lincoln was going to Missoula and it's going to be coming to Lewis Clark landfill. What that means is a reduced tipping rate, because the private waste management facilities were a lot more expensive. The cost for Augusta and Lincoln, we're going to go way up. We're able to try to manage that stuff in-house and have kind of more economy of scale of what that looks like for all of the citizens of Lewis Clark County. So pretty exciting step in the direction. So that's what I had today. Sharon?
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, wait, he had a question. I think he had a question for Rob.
So in Augusta, you did recycle plastic for a while and then you shut it down. Will that ever come back?
Not unless globally the plastic market changes. Plastic is really tough. The amount of material we were able to collect and the cost of the hauling just didn't make it manageable for the smaller communities. Yeah.
The Bean Lake Road goes to the missile site, are they gonna, I heard that they were gonna redo that or whatever was that?
They may, so some of those are defense access route sites, to those missiles. That's through the Maelstrom as a contractor that works on a lot of those. They do sometimes add new gravel to the road areas. I didn't think we had any in our county that were planned, for this year. And it might be in the 3-year cycle timeframe. And then the other big thing on the DAR routes and the whole effort with, all the missile silos is that they have that huge undertaking where they're gonna revamp all of them. I think we're not projected to like 2030, but what that means is there's gonna be man camps. They're gonna be taking out those and redoing the whole substation. A lot of work. It's like billion dollar project the Department of Air Force is working on. And I think it'll hit the county is projected like to be in 2030 on that work. And they have to upsize some of the bridges because the trucks that they have to use to haul some of those materials are a lot larger than they used to be for weight loads. It's a huge, I think you went to the meeting, didn't you, Commissioner Rolfe, on the update on that particular Sentinel project is what it's called.
Yeah, they had a meeting, went in Lewistown area and went up in Fairfield and went in Great Falls. I went to the Fairfield one and it's pretty major project. They're going to keep the current missiles in place and active until the new ones are put in. So there'll be actually new holes built, new silos built for the new missiles. And
Great, we'll have more spy balloons then coming over to see where the new holes are at.
so it's gonna be a huge project. And of course, now with the talk about some more defensive missiles, that might even add to it. You don't know.
Yeah, sure.
So, thank you.
Any other questions, board members? Okay.
Thanks, Chairman. Jenny mentioned the budget. That was a big effort, but that was done last week. Our biggest issue with special districts right now is still staffing. We still have 2 construction project positions open. At our May meeting, I was excited to announce we had a new person doing the rural improvement districts with that person. Joe, I've got an offer from a previous employer for a lot of money, included housing and a really flexible schedule that we just can't do at the county level. So we had him for 2 weeks and he took off. So that was unfortunate. So specifically unfortunate because we are now in the thick of our planning for our construction season. So it's a pretty challenging timeline now. So we've been going through procurement to build rosters of contractors to do most of our work within rural improvement districts. That's been completed for our grading contractors and also just wrapped up this week for our concrete and asphalt patching and mastic sealing contractors. Our projects, bigger projects underway. Jenny mentioned the crack seal is almost up. That work is combined with our rural improvement districts and then also the county road department. Asphalt overlays coming as Jenny mentioned, and then that'll be followed up by our chip seal cycles. So yeah, a lot of work trying to make sure that maintenance still gets scheduled. We'll just keep doing the best we can.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit challenging, but
Yeah. Amanda.
yeah, at least we're able to try to hire, which I know is a luxury many other agencies do not have, so.
Okay, any questions? Yep, Tom.
We are in the middle of the budget process and there's optimism from almost every department. But trying to do it, it's going to be interesting to see how the taxes change over the next couple of years. One of the things that will be, I think, a benefit to us is at the county is that people that have VRBO type properties, short-term rentals, their taxes are going to almost double over the next couple of years, and that should mean some extra money in the coffers for that, and it'll help pick up the slack on homes that are going to get a reduction. So it'll be interesting to see. I've been kind of watching the money coming in, and it seems like it hasn't boosted quite as much as I thought it would. So, and now with the second half taxes due, now we should probably get a better feel for what we're gonna have actually in cash in hand. So, gonna be interesting. We're trying really hard to cover as many things as we can, and yet try not to raise people's taxes any more than we have to. So, we're gonna squeeze everything we can out, try to make it happen. And it's a great process. You know, as Jenny just mentioned, we just went through 3 days of talking to every department. asking for what they'd like to have. Our initial instructions were no new programs and no new people, but there are some places where there's a lot of some pretty serious needs for folks too. So we're gonna look at it hard. We're gonna get as much as we can built into the budget and still try to keep taxes from going up much.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Do the feds, does the county depend a lot on the feds revenue?
We do get a lot, we hook up to a lot of federal grants. There's certain groups of them that don't appear like they're gonna be fun, messed with too much. But there are some, like the public health department, that we're probably gonna definitely lose some of that federal money that we use. We have about roughly $120 million budget. Property taxes pay for somewhere in the $35 to $40 million. So a pretty good chunk of our money is federal and state grants. But yes, there's going to be an effect, at least in some of our departments, that'll make a difference.
Okay, let you guys know that I did go up and testify at the hearing, at the budget hearing. I pushed for the extra 0.09 FTE for Alex's position. I felt that was probably the most important thing that we could do, is to get that position full-time. At our April meeting, we had already passed through the board, or unanimously passed the budget. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We still would really like to have that 0.09. It's not creating a new position, but it's adding to his position. That's really what it's doing. So hopefully you'll take that into consideration and get us that piece of personal person. So.
At our last meeting, too, we had several people who were really concerned about a bunch of the installers of the fiber optic cables, and a lot of the new seeds being spread around, and I've made out a list of a couple of key people to get a hold of. They seem to be responding pretty well from landowners, trying to get it. So if you've got anybody whose property's been, where they've kind of made a weed nest by putting those new fiber optic cables in. If you contact these folks, they seem to be willing to try and get it resolved for you. So, but they've been responding pretty well to people who take landowners. That all these call the folks. So don't let them up for air. We've got to, there's no sense in it. These folks, some of you people have been putting a lot of effort into getting rid of weeds, and all of a sudden you got to strip a new weed seed. So they've been turned out. So keep on top of them.
Jay, can you get that in the chat for Pete, maybe?
Yes,
or just email it to him? I know he was one of the landowners.
Yeah,
Concerns.
respond. Yeah, and then make sure that Monty gets a copy of it.
Yeah, I think actually what I'll do is I'll just email this, I'll scan it and
Okay.
email it out to everyone after the meeting.
That'd be great.
One quick note on that, it's kind of the similar thing, so I don't know where all this happened, but Northwest Energy went through last summer and cut a whole bunch of trees with their power lines. So did not realize in September, October, but in my travels going around, I have found that they left all those limbs on not private Forest Service, BLM probably, I don't know, but so of course, all the thistle seeds and the houndstone seeds have buried themselves in all those limbs.
Mhm.
And so that was a whole big mess on top of the digging it all up. Now we've got all those limbs laying everywhere. And, I don't understand. For some people, they chipped all those limbs up. And for other people, they didn't. I don't know if people gave them different directions, but it's a mess. So,
Okay.
anyway,
Okay.
onward and upward.
So Chairman, just on that note, I mean, Northwest Energy is gonna continue that work this summer as well. County got contacted on Orofino Gulch for a portion of our county property. And then the Forest Service property is also on that. They're doing the trees on the power line, but the Forest Service also wants them to do the full right of way,
Mhm.
which is 60 feet of tree removal for some of that fire mitigation as well. So I think that's gonna be a continued conversation, so. I gotta call the gentleman back, the contractor with Northwest Energy, and I can mention the fact on maybe just getting some clarification on what do they have as per their contract for weed management? And then how do they decide, how do they make a determination on what they do for landowners, you know?
Yeah. If they're
And do they
doing fire
give it-
mitigation, you think that they'd wanna pick those up because that's gonna be a fire hazard. All the
Well,
dead branches.
and, okay, so now here's the next
Unless they're put them in
question.
slash piles and they're gonna burn them later on for after 1 or 2 years.
So they did put some, that they did around houses, in slash piles. But now nobody knows when they're gonna get burnt or how they're gonna get burnt or who's gonna burn them.
Usually it's 2 years is what, like the city of Helena's open land space, program does for the city of Helena property. I was in a meeting last night and they were basically saying the first year you need it to dry and then kill all the beetle kill and those type of things. And then the next year they go in and burn it. And in the winter time.
Mhm.
So it'll be at the, you know, it
So
should
it should
be
be.
within the 2 years of the next winter cycle.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Okay. Jay, did you have anything?
Let me see, I think we covered everything. One thing I will say is we've been getting a lot of calls, probably at least 2-3 a day, just wanting assistance or guidance. So I think that's good. I don't know if it's, radio ads or awareness. Definitely seen an increase this year though, so I think that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, board member reports, Mike.
Fort Creek spray day is tomorrow and I'll try to find out from Jim Spender, the Forest Service man that runs it, and I'll find out how many people showed up there. I told him I was gonna maybe concentrate more on the Beaver Creek Road because there's a big influx of spotted knapweed that Jim's been after me to get off the property. So I'll do that. I heard you mention Dalmatian toadflax, and I was just wondering, are you aware of it? Is it in the Augusta area at all? Do you
You
know?
know, I'd have to look at our spray sheets, but I don't think it's as common as like spotted knapweed and
Yeah.
white top and spurge are up in that area. Those are, I would say, our top three ones. But I mean, Dalmatian toadflax is everywhere. So,
Oh, okay.
but I don't think that's as bad as it is in like the valley and Wolf Creek area. It seems to be, or heading up that area.
Basically, the Augusta area, the ranchers are still busy with cattle and getting fences fixed, so weeds are always the next thing on the priority, so I haven't seen much weed control going on. That brings up the question, when it gets this hot, I mean, when do you shut down? Is it 70 degrees or is there a normal temperature you worry about?
We
Wasting-
run quite a bit of water, so we push it closer to 90,
Oh, okay,
but that's running 100 gallons an acre. And if you run less water, it would be a little bit cooler, but between 85 and 90 is usually where you're at. But if you're running 25 gallons an acre, you're gonna be more at that 85 versus at 100 gallons, you got at least more water, more carrying agent to help stick around long enough for it to do what it needs to do before it evaporates.
then what you told me about the hound's tongue, look at where the leaf joins the stem, I'll look for that up because we did see some leaves. That was amazing. It was over by the game range, but they looked like somebody took a little needle and just poked holes in the leaf.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. You have to let me know, and we'll be up and around too. So I'm hoping to get up in your area, do a little bit of looking. There's house tongues everywhere, so it's not that hard to find one and see what we can find, so.
And everything's, you're right, everything's blooming, so hopefully. But I just noticed since I have a little more time, making the time to spray now while Brother John's doing the cattle. I've noticed what I thought the house tongue was really taking over, and we're making headway there, so.
Good.
It's good.
Any questions for me? Okay, Neil.
I don't have a lot to report. I regret not being able to help spray tomorrow. I've got to be on a Zoom call for an estate settlement, which I can't really get out of. But like every summer, I'll focus, because this is what I've been doing, kind of got me interested in really participating. I was pulling up the musk thistle that's pretty prevalent up in the foothills. It's where my wife and I walk our dog virtually every day of the year. And I don't know, can't remember if I ever reported numbers, but I started making a little bit of a game out of it in my head. And I could look it up, but some summers I pull 3,000 or 4,000 plants. In dense infestations, in an area of room like this, there might be 150 plants, and you can sometimes, they yank up very easily. They have very long but thin tap roots. Excuse me. And got long sleeves and thick gloves. They mostly pull up pretty easily. They don't pull out so easily along roadsides where they're a little bit more compacted, or there's like a heavier clay, but and some years, this will be about my 5th or 6th year, I can see differences from where I pulled the previous year. I don't keep close track of it, but the routes that we walk the dog frequently, I can see changes, so. And on a previous note though, I'll keep my eyes open for spray dates, because if there are ones I can participate in, I will, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
some
all.
questions? It's good that you do that. At least every little bit helps, especially up in that area.
There can be a lot of them.
Kind of give my report a little out of turn, but I did want to mention to Tommy and Kevin, that BLM property in the scratch gravel areas is a little over 5,100 acres. There is a bid out there right now that they are gonna contract some of that work out, Kevin, like we talked about. Only 500 acres, but a little is a little, we'll take it. Sounds like it's gonna be from Head Lane, kind of up to the center of the BLM, and then west is what the area is. I do know just from experience walking and being up in above Tumbleweed Drive, I guess, as you come off Franklin Mine, that stuff up in there with the fault course, and there's a tremendous amount of Dalmatian toadflax in there, and hopefully they take that 500 and then continue to work on other parts of that BLM property, because it's pretty rough shape. So that's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll just say with that, Stacy, they had that the fuels guys had that mastication and kind of fuel thinning up there, and so that is part of that contract as well. And that's one nice thing, and I'm happy our fuels guys are thinking of weeds. So they got that contract out too. So that will be all with that. And I'm still kind of waiting on timeline that they will be out there. I'm hoping that they're out there for more than one season. But just waiting on an answer from our fuels guy.
Okay, great.
Okay, one quick thought. The BLM off of Franklin Road, my friend, Michelle Broderson, she's working that area, and she works on that area pulling knapweed and weeds about 2 to 3 hours every day. That's just her, she's focused. So anyway, I don't know where that isn't compared to anything, but anyway, just know Michelle's out there pulling, just like Neil, pulling her weeds, so that makes her happy. So, every little bit helps.
Have anything? Your turn.
My turn. Oh, okay, so I have spray days tomorrow. I think there's gonna be 10 or 12 at this point, not quite as big as last year. Stacy and I kind of need to get together and work out a few things, but, four from,
Yep, I'll have 4 with us. We'll have 2 UTVs. So
that'll be great that we can pull together some of the stuff that we've been working on so hard. Pulled pork dinner at 5:30 at my house, so that will do that. Getting back to the thistle, I've been noticing that there is a bug in the root of the thistle, pretty close to the top. And when you crack open that thistle root, there's these little tiny bugs in there. I don't know what it is, have no earthly idea. But anyway, it looks like it is something that is, because the whole inside of the root is kind of mushy. It's
Yeah,
not
sometimes,
solid.
yeah, I've sometimes seen like, we used to call them spit bugs, like these little bits of spittle. I don't know, does anybody know what that is?
I don't know what they're, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't see it that often.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a little water
Yeah, the only.
foam, or I guess maybe like
Yeah.
foam on a top.
Almost like it's foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Anyway,
The
I
only
just,
insect I knew that was out for musk thistle was the seed head weevil. So if you look at the seed head and you crack the seed head open,
mhm.
there won't be any seeds left, it'll all be ate out. And from my experience and talking to people, that is widespread across Montana. Every place, every thistle that I've ever looked at had them in. So you might want to take a look at that just for.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is very good.
Is it just particular to musk thistle?
Musk thistle.
So, things that we had a really hard freeze, not last night, the night before last, so. Things are not blooming as fast in my area as they are. I was in town on the 15th of May, and today's my first day back to the city. And I went, what the hell happened? The weeds have just, I mean, in 2.5 or 3 weeks or whatever it is, I'm going, I can't even believe this. It was unbelievable. So, anyway, I think it's gonna get very dry. Everybody is kind of thinking there's no water, where they're wondering where they're gonna water, we're gonna water cattle this summer. And so I'm getting ready to put up my fire signs, so people will know. Our campground has stayed pretty busy up until now. So I'm sure it'll only get busier over the summer. I guess that's about all I have. I've been concentrating on my own little world up there of trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff, so. Anyway, every day's a weed day.
No. Okay.
Okay,
Been spraying white top hound's tongue. And Judith Ann says within the last week, the spurge has just showed its ugly head like crazy in my area. And I also need on the spreadsheet for the spurge bugs.
Yeah.
Can you, I think I've been on a list before, but I never got any.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely get you on the list.
Okay.
Hopefully it's a good, with the spurge growing as well as it is this year.
I know places that I put them, they do an amazing job. I mean, it's crazy how well they work. And we need rain, so if anybody has any pull in the clouds. That's all I got.
Good, thanks, Rob. Pete.
Pete, wake up.
You are in there, Pete?
Easy, Rob. I'm awake. Nothing to report for me.
Okay. Thanks, man. So I gave you a little spiel about the budget and then also the legislative stuff. Apparently the other legislative bills that went through for the wildlife habitat improvement through fish, wildlife and parks, that passed. But I don't know, they changed a lot of things and in my opinion, messed it up, but we'll see how they come out with their rulemaking and see where that goes, because they took a lot of people off the council that was there, including the state weed coordinator, which is ridiculous because you need somebody there that knows what's going on statewide. But we'll see what happens and we'll see if they even get any money. They were talking $2 million, which is better than nothing, but we'll see how that plays out. And if I find out that the legislature overrode Governor Gianforte's veto of the 10 million, I'll let you know. But right now, I don't know what's going on with that or what the vote's at, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so Andrew, do you have anything you want to report on?
Yeah, we've been spraying mostly pre and post treatment for forestry work, so just trying to keep ahead of things there and finalizing contracts for this fiscal year. We've been limited to just farm bill money, so it's not official, but the word is that we will not have any IRA money, so we won't be obligated very many funds this year. And then staffing's been pretty limited. We lost a lot of people with the deferred resignation program and are still affected by the hiring freeze, so just trying to work around that as a work unit. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Kevin, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, kind of like what Stacy was saying, we'll have that stuff, kind of the scratch gravels, through our fuels, program as far as spraying. I will be out there as well. And then I guess one more kind of quick question for Christian, is as far as like, your county right of ways and stuff like that, do you have a list or anything like that that you generally try to hit each year?
Oh, yeah, we have our whole county, right away.
It's just old calls.
It's like 1,500 miles.
Last week.
Okay. That we try to hit. That's probably, we'll focus on any of the right of ways up in these spray day areas that we have, whether it's Beaver Creek, Mine Road, or wherever you guys need us to go that day, or what hasn't been hit, we'll try to get up there and help take care of that. But yeah, I do have a pretty comprehensive list of all of our roads that we spray anyways.
Okay, that sounds good. I would just, cause I was wondering, says talking to a state lead, and potentially be able to get some funding from the state, as far as chemical and stuff like that, if you guys were hitting anything on BLM, just to try and help out. I know obviously we're trying to get more done. Everything has just kind of been on a standstill at the moment, so. I guess I can
we can
discuss
certainly
that
put
with you a little
list
bit
of
more.
stuff that goes into BLM or what have you.
Okay. All right, that sounds great. And then I guess only other thing, especially just with me being kind of the only crew member at the moment, I will be definitely attending some bio collection days. So I have some areas within Lewis and Clark that I definitely am going to start releasing biocontrol this summer as well too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question regarding federal agencies and that type of thing. So if the board wrote a letter to the commissioners, would you pass that on, or would you look at favor of passing it on to the representatives?
To the representative. Yeah, I think what you need to do is send send your letter.
It has to end someday, right?
Send it to them or send it to you?
Well,
Be on screen.
Send it to us so that we know what you're asking
But I'll be
for.
back.
Okay.
And copy a letter you send on to them, the decision makers.
Okay.
And
I was just thinking that I think that the board should draft a letter to go to you via our senators and congressmen, whether it'll do any good or not, I don't know, but I think if they hear from us at the local level saying that we need funding to go to the federal agencies for weed control specifically, if that would help at all. And I'll talk to the Weed Control Association to see if they'll do the same thing.
It seems like some of our funding from the federal government for the payment in lieu of taxes and the school program, you know, secure school program. You know, it seems like it's coming ahead, coming through. But if you have a specific bill, you know, so you can zero in, or a specific issue, you know, you need to pinpoint it as tight as possible, so that when we do get a chance to talk to people, we can pass it along.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that BLM has one person
Yeah.
to cover this area. I mean, it's just unfortunate, and it's just mind-boggling that they expect one person to cover all this area and get everything done that needs to be done. But I don't think they're thinking in that light. I don't think they're thinking of what's actually gonna happen if they don't get more people, or if they don't get more money to the ground. And I know when I was with the department, we would go back every year, once a year, go back and talk to all the representatives and tell them exactly what's going on. I don't think that's happened probably since I've left. But it's important to let those guys know that, hey, we're out here, we need some help. We need your support to get people, to get the money, to get to those agencies and to get back to the state of Montana. Because if we don't do that, we're gonna lose.
And there really is a responsibility of the federal government for the lands that we have here.
There is.
I mean, half of our acreage in Lewis and Clark County is nearly half is federal land,
Right.
you know? If you add state lands in there too, we're over half of our total acreage is government-owned lands, and they have a responsibility to take care of the lands that they own.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. To me, that's the approach to
Okay,
to
I was
take
just,
with
I
it.
just wanna make sure we go through the right channels, and if I can, I'll see if I can draft a letter and we'll talk about it. I mean, it's not gonna happen this year specifically, but come the August meeting, maybe I'll have the draft ready and we can discuss it as a board and then shoot it off to you guys. And I would say that as a personal, I mean, as a landowner in Lewis and Clark County, I think if the board members wrote a personal letter to the congressman and the representatives saying that, you know, we need federal funding, we need more resources to come into Montana because we're here fighting the fight. And if you guys aren't gonna be in that fight, then we're gonna lose for sure, because there's 93 million acres of Montana is federal lands.
Yeah.
At least, so I think it's imperative that we push that as far as we can.
And like I say, I think there's some recognition that there is, because looks like the payment in lieu of taxes is
Right.
coming through, that some of these other programs are. And there's gonna be some of these that they've cut back on, they're gonna realize that they need more, but you can pinpoint specific funding that is doing a specific job. I think that's your best bet.
I do too.
And then if you can let us know what you're requesting.
Yeah.
And then because we try to talk with the representatives as well.
Yeah, I wanna talk with Becky Kington and see what, if the MWCA is gonna do anything. And then follow that in that line, so we're all talking the same, but. Okay.
Dave, can I chime in for just a
Yeah.
minute? I don't know if I had told everybody about this, but the 2021 forest plan for Lewis and Clark County, Lewis and Clark and Helena National Forest had put together a fire mitigation plan that is and it may have been voted on and it may not have been voted on. Anyway, we wrote a letter, and 500 and some odd people, we signed the petition that we were supporting that forest plan for fire mitigation and weed control and kind of a whole little thing. If we could, I think you got a copy of that letter, did you?
I don't remember that one specific.
Okay, it went to Emily Platt, and then you were copied, I think. And it also went to Downing and Zinke and not Downing. Yeah,
Oh,
Downing,
Downing,
yeah, Troy Downing,
Troy.
and then Sheehy and Danes. Saying that we were supporting this was just for this little area, but if we tagged on to that, didn't have anything to do with BLM, but there isn't any reason that we couldn't. So maybe I'll get you a copy
Yeah,
of
give me a
that
copy
letter.
of that if you would.
Yeah, and then, we broke it into 3 phases of how we would like to see the forest mitigations. Now, whether they're gonna pay any attention to us or not is a whole nother deal, but,
Well, to me, I think if we send them the letter and get it fresh in their mind that we're really
Being
not gonna
active.
drop it, but there needs to be some stuff that happens here because if, like I say, if we don't all come together on this, it's not gonna be pretty,
Right.
so. Okay, yeah, send me that
okay,
letter.
I will.
Okay, BLM strategic planning.
Yeah, I'll work with Kevin on that. I'll get to see him tomorrow and then we'll keep working on putting together some stuff like the access roads to some of that. So, yeah.
Okay. I think we covered the utilities again. This piece of paper will help if people are having problems or issues with that. Give these guys a call or.
And if you have any hangups on it, on working with any of these guys, let me know, or if you connect with another person that is particularly responsive, let me know and I'll pass it around too, because we need to. We need to do. There's a lot of frustration with what's going on. We need to try to help people get this resolved.
Yeah.
I might add that, there is very little oversight on this fiber optic stuff. It's supposed to be 42 inches deep on state right of way and 36 on county right of way. I happen to know a couple places where I can see the orange sticking up out of the rip. And to say the least, I'm frustrated with what's going on. And I hope that the county roads, they're not packing, the reclamation is horrible.
Yeah.
And they haven't got it deep enough.
It's really, and there's been some places where it's been, I mean, it's been a mess. They have the right to be there, but they have the responsibility to take care of it. And I think that they were trying to get the money to put it done, and they weren't taking care of make sure it's cleaned up and done right. But they are starting to respond to that and using those phone numbers. Let me know what you get from the response and we'll, if they aren't given the right answer, we'll move up the food chain. But these people have been doing a pretty fair job. If the landowner makes the call, the one that's hurt, it makes the call, they've been responding.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Birdseye noxious weed outreach.
Yes, I reached out to Kyle. I can't remember Kyle's
Sturgill.
Sturgill. Yeah, he is also our DES coordinator for Lewis and Clark County, but he is the fire chief out in Birdseye area. I reached out to him. I have not had a response yet. I will continue to see. I think we sort of just discussed that he would be a great contact to at least maybe lead, see if there's any kind of support or educational things that they would like to have out there. But as of right now, I haven't heard anything. I talked to Craig Marr, with the Benton walking path, for parks. And I did get a response from Craig. They manage, those walking paths, and he said that they do 4 feet on each side of that, and whatever's beyond that is to the private landowner or whoever is adjacent to that walking path.
They
But
spray or they pull or?
he said they mow and they spray. So we will work with them. We do have an MOU with them, so we can go from there on that. But try to work with them on helping getting that taken care of. And so, yeah, and then I don't have anything really on the Big Sky AmeriCorps.
I can give an update for that, Chairman. Sure. So I did talk with Mitch Laffa with the Montana Conservation Corps, who manages the member placement program for their different programs that they have. We talked about the Big Sky Watershed Corps program, which is a single member placement program. So there's a lot of different types of service that you can choose through Montana Conservation Corps. If you wanted, specific crews to come out and do a specific task, that's a little bit different. The Big Sky Watershed Corps it's a college graduate, and probably Andrew could speak to this as a previous service member, but they serve for about a 10-month time period at a specific host site. They cannot take an employee position. That's not the intent. It's to be a specific volunteer task. That term runs from January through about mid-November. That time period for the application is in the summertime. It opens up in August and it runs through September. The total cost this year was $16,000 for that 10-month term. And then Montana Conservation Corps pays for their insurance, their workers' comp, all of that. They're really an employee, they're not employees, they're service members, but the Montana Conservation Corps takes care of that piece. The host site has to provide office space and equipment. And then, like I said, have a specific, yeah, exactly. There's also a couple of other options. There are, there's an intern program and also a fellows program. So the interns are summer assistants, and that runs from mid-May to August. And then the fellows program runs from about mid-May to October. So you get additional capacity in that way as well. And I remember Andrew serving here as well. And
yeah, it was a good experience on my end. I'd be happy to answer questions on it. I mean, it's kind of I'll be honest, it's kind of a gamble because you're getting a person that you may not know that well, because the AmeriCorps programs as part of that hiring process. So you might get somebody who's really good, or you might get stuck with me, but it's kind of what you put into it is what you get out of it, in my opinion. If you're willing to invest in the person, then it probably will be a good experience. If you're really looking for somebody who's going to be self-reliant and ready to go, it may be not the program.
We had one when I was president of the MWCA. We hired one through the Corps to help with the plan and a couple other things through the Weed Control Association. And I think it would have worked out better if we would have, because we were going through executive directors at that time. If we would have had a specific director, it would have went much better. But it's gone up a little bit because it was 12,000 when we looked at it. So now
must have been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, in my experience with it, I worked for the Montana Conservation Districts for the nonprofit before that, which is one of the organizations that helps to support that, along with the Montana Watershed Coordination Council, and then also MWCC. It's a 3-level partnership. So MCC does provide host sites with a few different candidates. It allows the host site to perform interviews and try to have some selection. what they do is when you decide what tasks you'd like that person to fulfill, they try to do a screening of the candidates to give you, 3 candidates that would fill that skill set appropriately. So they do a really nice job, I think, with that pre-screening.
I think that's something that we should probably look into. I think it'd be. Kind of goes back to what Stacy was saying too, if we could get one hired. And run them through the summer to help with. Coordinating some. Spray days or coordinating some grant opportunities or. That type of thing, I think it'd be well worth it, but. Maybe we can take a look at the application when it comes out, have it on one of the board minutes or the board agendas.
And Chairman, just to make note that that would have to be a budget discussion, so that we would
Okay.
look at the next fiscal year to put in the proposed budget, because there is a cost associated with that to the county,
Yeah.
One office space, as you know. That was when we looked at that in the past, we've already struggled with where we would put that person, because we don't have a lot of space down here in the public
Okay.
works complex. And then the IT cost, and the $16,000, just making sure that that's thought through and built into the budget and the budget request that we present from the Board of County.
Yeah, I'd like this, I think if we were gonna do it, in my mind, I think we try to take it out of grant funds.
That would work too, potentially, but we would note that
And then
in that
wouldn't be
slide,
impacted.
then, yeah,
other than that.
we would just note that for the budget authority, coming from that funding source, so,
Okay.
yeah, good idea.
Okay, so, the next meeting will be August, right?
August 6th,
And what day, because it's got June 4th on there.
Yeah.
Wednesday, August 6th.
Okay, so August 4th,
No, it's Wednesday, August 6th.
August 6th. Sorry, my typo. Apologize.
okay, any items for that meeting, anybody want to discuss or? But make sure if you do come up with something, make sure you get hold of Jade or Christian and we'll get it on the agenda that way and go that route, I guess.
Yeah, we could certainly reach out in July
Yeah,
too and reach out to everybody and just double check to see if there's any items, action items or.
I think I'd be
discussion
interested in
topics.
seeing how the radio stuff went
Okay,
for August. It'll probably be about out of money about that time, right? August, September.
it's all the way to the end of September.
Okay. Cool. Judith, Sam?
Over in the.
Quick
over the
thing,
way.
I'm
gonna be
probably
2:30, but
gonna
if you
try
want-
and
we
do
want that
another
remote,
remote for the rodeo. So just for fun, have no idea what it's gonna be yet or anything like that.
I guess.
And then rodeo and then maybe I'll do a weed, presentation, not presentation, a weed, table at the car show. On the last weekend of June. It's just a thought. I'll make up my deal at the last minute. So just those 2 thoughts. Anybody wants to help? That's okay. too.
Let us know.
Yeah. So,
I see on our packet, we got this. Is this for the mileage? Is that what you want?
Yeah, for any
Did that save
reimbursement.
them mail in it to us? Is that the reason?
Exactly, yeah, and then also, then they won't be cutting a check. I think they're trying to move to doing most things through EFT. And so, yeah, you get any mileage reimbursements or if you attend any like conferences, anything like that. So if that's anything you want to do. That's on the back of the packet.
okay.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Adjourn. Thanks, guys.
There we go. Let's just make like.
Good meeting.